Namaste. Hope all things are good. We are starting with the new class 12 chapter 1 syllabus. So wish you all good luck for a successful academic year. So let's start with the first chapter, in which we are going to discuss about nature and significance of management. Now before I proceed further, let me give you certain points to remember. In 11th standard, you would have had business studies as a very simple, easy, very clear-cut subject which had many features, merits and limitations. So your job was very easy to go for a rote memory or just to give a glance through. And most of the topics of 11th business studies were much more practical, in the sense you find a wholesaler selling goods, you find a street storekeeper selling some goods, etc. So you were able to learn the concept very clearly. Please remember, you were in the primitive stage of learning business studies. So the chapters, the portions were made so simple for you to get into the subject very easily. Now please remember, 1 year of education is over in class 11. Now we are into the secondary level. Now whatever you are going to learn in this class 12 is going to have a long impact, a strong impact on your entire career. So please stay confident and please concentrate fully on the portions of class 12. Class 12 business studies is of two parts. We are going to start with the first part, which is going to concentrate on functions of management. Functions of management and principles of management. So, you need to empathize yourself as a student of a B school, wherein you will be learning the concept of management and you will be learning the strategies of management in depth. So, this is the first step in the concept of management. So all of you are very sure that you will become successful managers in future. So let's start with the first lesson, nature and significance of management. In this chapter, we shall be concentrating on what is called as management, what are the different elements of management, then we shall be discussing about objectives of management, then we will be going ahead with importance of management. The next step will be the dimensions or the nature of management. We will be analyzing in detail what is the nature of management. Is management an art? Is management a science? Or has management gained the status of a full-fledged profession? Then we are going to draw inferences on all the three. Later, we will be discussing about the pyramid structure of a management, which is divided into three levels, the lower level, middle level and the top level. Who are the people who are occupying the different job positions in the organization? What are their designations? What are their functions? After completing all these things, we shall be discussing about what are the different functions of management. Later, the last part of this lesson, we shall be discussing about the synchronizing factor of all activities called coordination. So this is the small information, a startup about the lesson that we are going to discuss. Now, coming to what do you mean by management. Management is the process of creating an internal environment wherein individuals working together effectively and efficiently for the achievement of organizational objectives is the meaning and definition of management. Let us learn management in the practical scenario. In the morning when you are getting ready for school, is it that only you are getting up early morning? Is it that you are taking bath, you are getting ready, you make your own breakfast and you go? Almost your entire family is working in the morning for you, one person to start to the school. So your mother ensures that your food is ready at the right time, your father ensures that your transport is right at the proper time, your uniform is ready, your shoe socks ready, your books are ready. You ensure that everything is arranged in the timetable order. everything is done. That means there is a perfect synchronization of activities between various people. Now, your mother as an individual, your father as an individual, you as an individual are performing your own activities. But unless and until the efforts of every one of you is put together, there cannot be successful accomplishment. Suppose your mother says only by 10 o'clock your food will be there. Suppose your father says only by 11 o'clock I can drop you at school, whereas your school timing is say 8 o'clock. What is the purpose? Everybody is doing their job, but not doing with coordination. So, management is the process of creating an environment, creating an internal environment wherein individuals working together. So, every individual has got his own agenda. Every individual is working, fine, but they are expected to work together for what? For the achievement of organizational goals. Now, the organizational goals can be achieved in any way, but they have to be achieved effectively and efficiently. So, management is the process. So, it is not an individual activity, it is a group activity. And it is a process. What do you mean by process? It is a series of steps. Any process involves series of steps in chronological order. So, it is a process of creating an internal environment wherein individuals working together effectively and efficiently for the achievement of organizational goals. From that, let us try to understand what do you mean by process, what do you mean by effectiveness, and what do you mean by efficiency. Process is nothing but the series of activities. So, it is not one activity. It is a series of activities, and these activities are synchronized in a chronological order. So, after the achievement of one, the next one, that way. So, it is a process. Number 2, effectiveness and efficiency. What do you mean by effectiveness and what do you mean by efficiency? Effectiveness is the process of completing the given task. So, any work that is given, that has to be completed. That is what is called as effectiveness. So, doing right things. But please remember that particular work can be done in any way, any possible way. But a good manager is the one who is able to complete the given task with the minimum effort or minimum cost. So, somehow the work has to be completed is not the criteria at all. The work has to be completed in a proper way. So, efficiency is doing things right. So, effectiveness, doing right things, and efficiency, doing things right. So, efficiency is the process wherein the manager is able to complete the given task with minimum cost. But minimum cost does not mean dilution of quality. So, the manager has to ensure that he is able to complete the given task at the minimum cost. So, synchronizing effectiveness and efficiency. Effectiveness and efficiency are like two sides of a coin. They have to go hand in hand. Otherwise, the work will not be effective, the work will not be good. So, effectiveness is completing the given task. Efficiency is completing the given task at minimum cost. So, there should be a perfect combination of effectiveness and efficiency. So, management is the process of creating an internal environment wherein individuals working together effectively and efficiently for the achievement of organizational goals. Then, what do you mean by process? Process is nothing but a series of activities in a chronological order. Effectiveness is the process of doing right things, that is, completing the given task. Then, efficiency is completing the given task at a minimum cost. So, after learning about what do you mean by effectiveness and efficiency, now we shall go ahead with characteristics of management. Now, management is a goal-oriented process. Please remember, unless and until there is a goal, there is no need of management at all. Suppose on a holiday, you are just getting up around 8 o'clock. Mommy is busy with her work, father is busy with his work. Sisters or brothers, they are also very busy because all of them have their own work. For you alone, that's a holiday, or rather your vacation has started. So the first day you'll be very thrilled. Okay, fine. After a long hectic year, I'm going to relax myself. First day you'll be relaxed. Second day probably okay. Third day onwards you will just be hunting for some work. Then you'll call up your friend. You'll text your best friend, finding out what they are doing. They also say immediately, I'm also feeling bored. That time only you realize so boring. Why? There is no goal. There is no goal to achieve. Until then you had an examination, so you had systematic functioning, sitting, preparing for the examination, then working out problems, etc., going to school, attending classes, writing examination, etc. Now that there is no work at all, there is no need of management at all. Nothing. Mother is also a little relaxed because no need to be in a hurry to finish cooking for you. And father is relaxed, no need to drop you. By which what happens? They have their own other work to complete. So, management is required whenever there is a goal to achieve. So, management is a goal-oriented process. The next one is management is all-pervasive. Management is existing at all levels. It is not necessary that management means it is pertaining to a group of people occupying the topmost position in the organization. Not necessarily. So all of us plan in one way or the other. A child, a nursery child plans its activities. A middle school student plans their activities. An officer plans his activities. A politician plans his activities. So everywhere there is management. So management is existing at all levels, whether it is a private organization or a government organization, management is very much needed. So management is an all-pervasive function. Then management is multi-dimensional. It is not that management caters to one level, one particular work alone. Management is required at different angles. Now, management of work in any organization, there are many activities to take place. There should be a purchase manager who will purchase all the raw materials. There should be a production manager who will produce goods. There should be a finance manager who will be managing finance. There will be a sales manager who will take care of sales and marketing of the work, etc. So, right from procuring the raw material, converting them into finished products, getting them ready for sale, everything, every activity has to be synchronized with the help of management. So, management of work deals with assortment of activities that are taking place in the organization. The next one is management of people. In any organization, different individuals join with different goals. So, every employee should be viewed as an individual who has joined the organization and as part of the group which is going to do the job. So, individual activities should be merged with the activities of the organization as a whole. So, how an individual reacts when he is an individual and how he responds when he is a part of the group, that shows the effectiveness with which he is being made to work by the manager. So, management of people, then management of organization. Now, manager's very important responsibility is to synchronize the personal goals of the employee with that of the goals of the organization. Every employee joins an organization with certain goals to achieve from his personal end. The organization recruits an employee for the purpose of achievement of organizational goals. Now, the manager has to strike a balance between the goals of the organization and the goals of the individual. Now, he has to make it very clear to the individual employee that by achieving the organizational goals, his personal goals will be very much achieved. So, he has to bring the coordination between the personal goals and the organizational goals. So, that is one aspect of management. So, management of organization. The next is management is a continuous process. We can't say that once a particular goal is achieved, management comes to an end. The next activity starts. So, it is a continuous process only and it is an endless process also. The next is management is a group activity. To a layman, when we say management, it immediately refers to the group of people who are occupying the topmost position in the organization. Please remember, it is not necessary that the group of people should be at the top level alone. It will be at the middle level, it will be at the lower level also. no one individual can constitute to be a management. It is a group of individuals who are working together for the achievement of organizational goals called as management. So, one individual cannot achieve wonders, but if he is going to be a part of the group, then the group as a whole will do miracles. So, management is a group activity. Then, management is a dynamic function. Gone are the days when the manager is addressed as sir. Nowadays, in any corporate form, we find managers being called by their name alone. Similarly, the designations called the manager, general manager, assistant manager, etc. are all withdrawn and they are replaced with COO, CEO, legal advisor, finance consultant, etc. So that is the change that the government, that the corporate is coming across. So the management is changing, the role of management is changing from one area to the other area depending upon the changes that are taking place in the external environment. Now we have seen that people reporting to office by 9 o'clock and leaving the office by 5:30, etc. That is one stage of management. But now we find the flexi working style in most of the corporates and work from home culture. These are all very much, that is a change. So gone are the days when the managers will be there in a cabin and calling for long hours of meeting, etc. Nowadays there is a change that manager passes on all the information through an email. Intermail or intramail is also possible, by which communication reaches the subordinates faster and the decisions are taken at appropriate moments also. So that is why it is said that management is a dynamic function. So it keeps adapting itself to the changes that are taking place in the external environment. The last one, the most important one, is management is an intangible force. We cannot precisely say what is management. We cannot precisely see what is management, but it can be felt and observed. For example, the traffic signal. When the signal is red, you need to stop. When the signal is green, you need to go. Fine, it is very clear. In case on a particular day, on a very busy day, in a very busy arterial road, the signal is not working. How much of chaos that the people will come across. Every side traffic jam, everywhere there people are stranded. Then you find one traffic policeman coming suddenly from somewhere and trying to divert the traffic, regulate the traffic, etc. And in about few minutes time the traffic gets regulated. Then you say immediately, see, there is no signal, so there is no proper traffic management at all. So you feel the absence of signal only when signal is not there. So that is the same thing in any organization. We can say that we can feel management only when the opposite of management takes place. When things are not in proper order, when decisions are not taken at appropriate time, then naturally we feel that there is no proper management at all. So management cannot be precisely defined, cannot be precisely seen, but can be felt and experienced. So this is what is called as management is an intangible force. Now, having completed characteristic features of management, we shall now go for importance of management. Now, let's see why management is considered to be very important. Now, why I am continuing with characteristics of management with importance of management is, importance of management takes all its input from characteristics of management. So, the learning of the concept becomes easy. That is why I have shifted objectives of management as the next topic. So, now management helps in achieving group goals. Now, we understood that management is a group activity. It is not one individual activity. So, when all individuals put together their efforts, the successful organizational objectives will be achieved. So, management is a goal-oriented process. Management is a group activity. So, both these features are mixed and brought to as one advantage of management, that management helps in achievement of group goals. Then, by effective understanding of management, the manager is able to make the workers complete the work with minimum effort and minimum cost. Therefore, management increases efficiency. The next, management creates a dynamic environment. Now, in any organization, people are working together. They are able to accept the changes that are taking place in the business environment around. So it creates a dynamic environment. Management is adapting itself to the changes because managers are able to understand the reality of external environment. So management creates a dynamic environment. The next, management helps in achieving personal objectives. Now we know pretty well that every individual joins an organization for certain personal goals to achieve. At the same time, the management has certain goals to achieve. So the efficiency with which the manager is able to reconcile the individual goals with the organization goals derives the success of the organization. So management makes it clear to the employees that by achieving the organizational goals, individual goals will be well achieved. So achievement of personal objectives is also one of the importance of understanding management. Then management helps in the development of society. Please remember, management functions within the society from where the organization derives its input, and it takes all the input in form of human and non-human resources. So management ensures that good quality products are produced and good environment is brought up. So by accepting and creating good environment to work in, and by bringing in changes in the society, management is able to contribute for the development of the society. So we understood that management helps in achievement of group goals, management brings in increases efficiency, management brings in dynamic environment, management helps in achieving personal goals, and management helps the development of society. So now let's discuss about the objectives of management, the purpose for which any organization is functioning. Now the objectives of management are classified into three major heads: organizational objectives, social objectives and personal objectives. Organizational objectives deal about the organization as a whole, the very purpose, the very existence of any organization. Social objectives cater to the societal responsibilities which any organization will undertake as part of the society in which it is existing. And personal objectives are the objectives of the individual employees which the management is striving to achieve. Now, organizational objectives define the very existence of any organization. So, any management which is starting an organization will go for the achievement of organizational goals as its primary objective. So, primarily any organization will intend for the very survival of the organization. Today we can talk about a Reliance Group, Adani Group, Lakshmi Mittal Group, etc., etc., etc. Initially, how much of efforts they would have put in to even to start, to survive, to stay in the business for a longer period of time. Any business organization will have the first and foremost objective to be survival in the business field, survival in the environment. Number two, once that survival is ensured, that means he is able to stay in the business for some time. So after survival, the management will look for earning profits. Why earning profit? Definitely profit determines the success of the organization. To ensure that the organization is going the right track, profits are the determining factors. They are the parameters upon which the success of the organization lies. Now, once profits start coming, no management will keep quiet with just the existing working structure. They will look for growth, and growth is very much essential. It is an integral part of any management. So, growth is the next organizational objective which any management would want to achieve. Now, having done organizational objectives, please remember, any business is drawing its input from the society and it is releasing the output also in the same society. So, it is without the approval of the society, the management cannot be successful at all. Many organizations could not continue to be successful because they have not been approved by the society in which it is existing. So, any management would want to take up certain social responsibility. Social responsibility does not mean maintaining a roadside park or maintaining a signal or traffic regulation, etc. By not polluting the environment, by producing good quality products, by paying a fair wage to the employees, by providing good working conditions to the employees are all part of the social responsibilities which any business has to undertake. The social objectives is the next one. So reducing unemployment problem will all be a part of social objectives of any business. The third one is personal objectives. Any individual is joining the organization with certain goals and the organization has certain goals to achieve. Now, the personal objectives of the employees have to be satisfied for their sustained continuation in the organization. So, the manager has to ensure that he is able to strike a balance between organizational goals and the personal objectives to be achieved. Now, he has to make it very clear to the employees that by satisfying the organizational goals, even his personal goals will be satisfied. So, achievement of organizational goals is the stepping stone for the achievement of personal goals. So, in this topic, we have discussed about the objectives of management, which is divided into organizational objectives, social objectives, and personal objectives. In the next session, we shall be discussing about nature of management. We will be dealing about whether management is an art, management is a science, or management is a profession. Namaste.